Hello. I'll be talking about drinking and driving in Laramie, Wyoming, um, and talking about it as a safety initiative. So, just a little bit of background information or the problem of drinking and driving in Laramie. Um, it's a critical public safety issue in Laramie, and it causes a lot of accidents, injuries, and even kills a lot of people per year. And even though there's efforts, to target the young adults and students that go to the university, as well as people who just live in the community or are traveling here because of football games and stuff like that, the problem is still occurring because of things like limited public transportation and inconsistent enforcement of DUI laws. Why I'm addressing this issue and why it is important is it impacts the safety and well-being of the community. I grew up in a small town, so I kind of know how certain things, loved ones being lost or people, pillars in the community being lost and stuff like that, how it does affect the community. And so, um, a lot of this have long-term effects on families, businesses, and especially local government resources. It requires a community-wide cooperation um, and action to create sustainable solutions. So my vision for the next 5 to 10 years for the community is a safer Laramie with fewer alcohol-related accidents, better transportation options to and from the bars, and stronger community awareness around drinking and driving. A little bit got cut off there. So some of the data on this is actually pretty surprising. I thought it would be a little bit lower, but once I started looking at it, it was kind of caught my eye. So in Wyoming, DUI arrests account for about 28% for all custodial arrests. So a pretty high number of all the arrests are directly linked to alcohol and the consumption of it. And so the average BAC for those people arrested is more than double the limit that is legal for someone to drive. And so, it's not just people right around the edge of the legal limit, it's more than double that. Um, Wyoming averages about 1,100 alcohol involved crashes each year, and more than 50 people die in these crashes per year. And that's almost 90% of them who aren't wearing a seatbelt as well. And so, just that drinking part of it and being impaired, people aren't wearing their seatbelts on top of it. And it's not only adding to risk, but it just kind of shows that how that impaired part of it works. In Laramie, the distance between bars downtown is within walking distance, but the real problem comes into play when students or residents of the community are traveling to and from the bars or even football games because they either drive themselves while they're intoxicated or have someone who is intoxicated drive them. Why this matters to the community is because of the public health and safety risk that it poses to people around the community, just local residents and stuff like that. The economic impact is especially on local businesses, especially those in the service and hospitality industries like bars and restaurants. And then this puts a strain on law enforcement resources and services who are responding to these accidents and who are kind of trying to enforce the DUI law. Some of the stakeholders in addressing drinking and driving it in Laramie. So I kind of laid it out a little bit different. People with high power and positive attitude are people like local government and law enforcement who are committed to improving public safety, but are also concerned about resources. People in high power and negative attitude are local businesses because this affects them negatively. If we're going to crack down on DUI law enforcement, then this will directly affect the revenue of these businesses. People with low power, positive attitude are the students of Wyoming. This is because they're at risk, but can be educated and motivated to adopt safer behaviors along the lines of drinking and being educated on how much is a safe amount, how much is too much, and what are the risks of driving while impaired. Lower power, negative attitude would be community members with limited access to transportation. This may resist or struggle with public safety campaigns due to limited transportation alternatives. The next is engaging stakeholders using social capital skills. Um, so people with high power, positive attitude, um, this could include partner with the government agencies and law enforcement for increased visibility and resource sharing. Um, Things like public awareness campaigns and stricter law enforcement. High power, negative attitude. Um, the engagement strategy would be to address businesses' concerns by discussing ways to maintain profitability. A lot of people are going to lose out on some of the money, especially the bars, and so uh, getting them on the same page as the law enforcement and people trying to make a change is going to be very beneficial, but hard because they're going to take a dip in revenue. So they might be reluctant um, to help out with that. Low power positive attitude. Target University of Wyoming students through educational campaigns, incentives for using ride sharing services. So in peer driven awareness programs. So maybe you could add in an incentive in there where you get $5 or not, maybe not $5, but if you're using a certain app that provides students with transportation to and from the bars, you might get an incentive for that because, or just for using it, maybe stop in and get something quick like a free donut or something like that from the student store. Um, Low power and negative attitude. This would be working on providing better transportation solutions, things that are more affordable and accessible forms of public transportation, like ride sharing partnerships. And I know we have Safe Ride here in town. Just even more accessibility would be ideal because I know Safe Ride's a little bit off to the side from the bar, so a lot of people just aren't trying to walk over there. Next would be mobilizing community support for change. So key coalition members would be local government. This would be people like cops and people who are able to pass legislation, maybe, or kind of have that, kind of control over the government side of things as far as like the community goes. This would be providing resources and policy support. Next is University of Wyoming because they'll be able to give educational campaigns to the students and be able to maybe connect with the students a little bit more as far as incentives for responsible behavior. Next is transportation providers. So this would be things like taxis, public transportation services, ride sharing, like I said before, and so next is self-interest and coalition members. Local businesses will want to maintain sales while reducing liability. So they don't want to be the direct cause of these types of accidents, like giving someone too many drinks at a bar, and then later that night, no one cuts them off, and they go and drive home and they get in an accident. So, they want to maintain their sales and still sell drinks, but not be liable or be less liable for these types of accidents. University of Wyoming wants safer students and less DUI involvement. So when this does happen, the university does get involved, I think sometimes. And so next is transportation services benefit from an increase in customers. This not only helps keep people safer, but also it helps transportation services because, they're getting an increase in customers. And so it's kind of like, they're being used more. So they're going to feel a little bit better about kind of how things are going. If people are relying on them and actually using these things, then it'll only grow and make things a little bit safer. Next is recruiting volunteers and building supportive coalitions. So types of volunteers that we need are people, community advocates. So these are passionate people about public safety, such as local activists, university students, and community leaders who, go out and do talk about, promote this kind of topic and are on the front line talking about it and giving their support. Next is business owners. So those who want to help reduce the impact of alcohol related accidents on their business. Health and safety experts. These are people who are with experience in public health campaigns or traffic safety. Um, the recruitment strategy would be to target the population, so focus on the young adults, the people that are being affected most by drinking and driving. You could use things like social media campaigns, campus outreach, and community events to raise awareness. I know nowadays a lot of things are on social media, so kind of having that online marketing or social media marketing side of it would probably be the most beneficial. General recruitment, so utilize community events. Maybe there's a football game and you want to bring this to attention in front of a large crowd of people and really get it out there. You would really want to do it at one of these football games because um, you're the most more eyes are on you, and a lot of people might take it into heart or really receive the message that's being presented. And next is most important lesson in future application. So community leadership and collaboration, the importance of engaging diverse stakeholders and building collaboration to address complex issues like drinking and driving. So that's probably the most important lesson I would say. And moving forward, if that's what we're gonna do, I will use these skills in future leadership roles by applying the principles of stakeholder engagement, coalition building, building a strong foundation, of good people that really care about it in the community and are able to help make a change. Whether that be with raw material, resources, or just time and money, and conflicts resolution to drive change in the community and organization. Lastly, I just had a little bit of summary. So today we addressed drinking and driving in Laramie, and it requires a collaborative approach, engaging stakeholders from local businesses, law enforcement, students, and transportation services. Effective leadership, building a coalition, and mobilizing community support can help reduce the number of DUI incidents and create a safer environment for all of us.